There's one question that comes up in an interview more than any other question I can think of, and that is, why did you make a covers album? Nick and I, way back in 1985, I think it was, were talking about doing a project together. It turned into Arcadia, and it had Arcadia songs, but originally it was a concept cover album. We made lists of songs to do, and in actual fact, some of the songs that were on that list have ended up on the album Thank You.
When we released the Wedding album, it took off beyond our expectations, and so we went on a world tour that lasted for almost a year and a half. During that time, we went into the studio whenever we could for a day here and a day there. When we were in New York City, we recorded with Grandmaster Flash and Mele Mel and the Furious Five.
I think it's a great bird and has potential to be a really big record because like the original record, when we first cut White Lines, it was big in certain areas. Now, it wasn't big all across the country. The White Lines version that they did now had the potential to be in a big record, you know, all over the world.
To be quite honest, at first when they said they were going to record it, I was expecting just to hear a typical rock sort of track, a rock track version, but when they asked me to come down to listen to the track before they learned anything else, as soon as I opened the studio door, the track blew my head off.
Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up. Higher, baby. Get higher, baby. Get higher, baby. And don't knock off that freeway.
It's quite an interesting process of making this album, was choosing the different songs that would go on it. And I wouldn't say that it's an album of anybody's favourite songs. It certainly doesn't represent my favourite songs of the 60s, 70s, 80s. And they're on the album not because they're our favourites, but because they are landmark pieces of music in the history of music.
Possibly the best re-recording of a song of mine that I've heard. He's absolutely wild about it.
I've on Perfect Days, it's a classic song, and I thought Simon could really nail it as well, and he did.
Said about the songs from the original artists. And modesty prevents me from quoting them directly on camera. Public Enemy, well, Flavor Flav said,
Duran Duran did 911 as a joke over, and I just got finished hearing it for my first time. Slam.
I thought the Duran Duran Thank You was exceptional, really.
Duran Duran, eh? Is this thing on?
They recorded my song, Success.
Hey, is this thing on?
I'm sure glad I kept the publisher.
I think the Duran Duran thing is really good because it's kind of the way that he sings it. Simon is it's a totally different way of singing it, and it works great. It's real good.
One of the things I like about Duran Duran is I think when they first came out, they were thought of like pretty boys, and they went and they made the mistake of having a hit right off the bat. That's kind of the kiss of death, because you're dismissed 6 months later. But they've hung together, and they're a real band, and nobody can take that away from them. One of the things I liked about their version of Perfect Day was the fact that it was such an accurate take on it. They recorded it the way I meant it, which is a real big thrill.
Broadcast, thank you.